Go ahead.
We're good to go?
Yep, go ahead, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners meeting for this Tuesday, December 14th, 2021. It's 2 p.m. My name is Ty Menzer, Chair of the Board. Vice Chair, Commissioner Gary Edwards on the dais. To his right, Commissioner Carolina Mejia. To her right, the County Manager, Ramiro Chavez. And to his right, Assistant County Manager, Robin Campbell. Clerk of the Board is Amy Davis. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, this is a hybrid meeting with participants able to attend in person, masked and distanced in the boardroom, or appear virtually where possible. This meeting is also live streamed for the public to follow along on our Thurston County YouTube channel. Calling this meeting to order, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Commissioner Mejia.
Please stand and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We would also like to start today with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge the indigenous Salish peoples who have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial and who still inhabit the area today, specifically the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing. Is there a motion regarding the proposed agenda for today?
You have your microphone on, sir.
I would move to approve the agenda for Tuesday, December 14th, 2021.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia.
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye. Motion carries. Today's agenda is approved. Is there a motion regarding board meeting minutes from December 6th and 7th, 2021?
Yes, I would move to approve the board meeting minutes from December 6th and December 7th, 2021.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia.
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye. Motion carries and board meeting minutes are approved from December 6th and 7th. Now is the opportunity for the public to address the board. The Board of County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public at our Tuesday afternoon meetings. There are some guidelines regarding such comments. When you're called, come and state your name and the area of county in which you reside for the record. You have 4 minutes. Time may not be donated to any other speaker. Please address the board, not audience or staff. Silence your cell phones in the boardroom. That's a general advisement. The board will not respond directly to public comment, but the county manager may, on an as-needed basis, respond today or at a future meeting. Board reserves the right to restrict a person's opportunity to speak for good cause. No comments that are lewd, offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outbursts of any kind. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business. No remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal. And finally, all materials provided to the county may be considered public records subject to release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 RCW. Got 4 names in the sign-up sheet. Joe Hanna is first. On deck will be Barry Halverson. Mr. Hanna, you have 4 minutes.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. Today I'm here once again as an individual. Although I am your chair to the Ag Advisory Committee, I will emphasize I am here as an individual speaking on my own behalf. First thing I'd like to talk to real quick is OPMA. I'm happy to hear that the guidebook or instruction manual or whatever you're going to title it should be finished soon for your committees and boards. That is a very positive move forward, I think. The only issue I have is OPMA and subjecting committees such as the Ag Advisory Committee to OPMA is going to cause problems in the future. I jokingly just asked Mr. Pettit if it'll take me suing other Ag Advisory Committee members for violating it to get the idea into their head that they have to follow it. I've tried to, as your chair, tried to encourage people to start using it now because that's the direction I hear you say almost every month, at least. And I actually was yelled at, chastised, and ridiculed because I made the suggestion. I was accused of limiting people's voice by requesting they only respond to 3 or less members at a time, which is one of the parts of OPMA because our committee has a quorum with 4. But we will move forward. I will highly encourage members to utilize it. So next I'd like to talk about the vacant farmer member position. Again, as an individual, not as a member of the committee. I will reemphasize my support for Glenn Shorno. I would like to see you appoint him as soon as possible. I do realize that you're talking about waiting till after the guidelines are out. That's fine, but he will bring years of experience, vast knowledge, and I don't know that you could go out and find a better farmer member for the committee if you tried to. And then finally, you've all received letters from me in regards to one member I'm not going to name in a public meeting, but I think that they are up for reappointment in January, and I would highly encourage you, as I have in multiple letters to you, not to reappoint them. They are continuous and constant disruption of our meetings. To a member, I have received complaints about that person. And people that I would never think would complain about that person have complained to the point that they don't speak in our meetings anymore because of the bullying and the attitude that they're given by that member. That's all I got today. Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday and Merry Christmas.
Thanks, sir.
Barry Halverson is up. John Pettit's next.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Barry Halverson, and I am with the Lake Lawrence Lake Management District Steering Committee. I heard from this morning's agenda setting meeting. I got a phone call about it, and I went and tried to look at it. I wasn't able to, but I heard that there was some conversation about the email I sent yesterday and the testimony that I sent you in preparation for today's BoCC meeting. I sincerely appreciate that you had the opportunity to read it and understand it. By now, you all know me, and you know that I speak truth with facts to support what I say. Therefore, I will not regurgitate what I said in that email, except to add the following. Lake management is a very involved and delicate process. Those that live on a lake are keenly aware of this and are the ones that take the most interest in and pay the most to support and ensure that our lakes remain sustainable. Your 2 county LMDs have been involved in this process for over 35 years each, have developed an abundance of knowledge and experience in lake management. We have contracted for, by that I mean paid for, and assisted in numerous studies and attempts to learn best practices and provide the best stewardship for our lakes. This stack of documents I have before me right here are some of those studies done on Lake Lawrence. Long Lake has had similar stack of studies performed. The bottom line is we have studied and actually tried several different types of weed management other than chemicals over the years. Dredging. We did a study on dredging. For Lake Lawrence, the cost was estimated to be more than $100 million. Grass carp. Study showed it would not be effective against the type of aquatic vegetation we have and would adversely affect other fish populations and add to the nutrient load of the lake, increasing algae issues. Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife did not support grass carp in Lake Lawrence. Matting, laying mats on the bottom of the lake in littoral, shallow areas of the lake to prevent weed growth. We actually did this in the early 1990s at substantial cost. It was totally ineffective. and within 2 years, all the matting was coming up, causing problems and resulting in an expensive removal process. To this day, we still find pieces of matting coming up, particularly in our canal area, and then have to deal with removing it. Mowing. Only mows the aquatic vegetation 2 feet below the surface of the water. We did this for 10 years, and Long Lake still does it in some restricted areas. The problem is weeds grow right back, and a substantial amount of the cut-off weeds float around in mats on the surface and wash up on other properties around the lake, spreading the weeds to other parts of the lake where it wasn't growing previously. It's very expensive as well. Manual pulling and raking, actually going out and pulling or raking the weeds, something we still do today. We purchased 8 weed rakes last year through the LMD and signed them out to our shoreline residents. We also pull fragrant water lily by hand during our lake surveys every time we find a plant. This helps reduce chemical usage, but it is not a solution. All of the above weed management strategies were studied and or done or still being done today before any chemical use was considered. When our weed problems became so severe and the biomass from decaying weeds exponentially increased nutrient loading, resulting in out-of-control toxic algae blooms, and no other alternatives were available, we started looking at chemicals to control the weeds. A lot of time and effort was put into identifying chemicals that would control only the vegetation we needed to control without harming fish, wildlife, humans, or water quality. That is how we arrived at the 2 chemicals we use today, working with your Department of Health and noxious weed. We are constantly searching for other techniques and solutions. We welcome the discussion. We request that when you have that discussion, knowledgeable members of our Lake Steering Committee be invited to participate. We thank you for all you do and for listening to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Halverson. Mr. Pettit's up. Mr. Ballard is on deck.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is John Pettit. I live out off Rich Road in Southeast Olympia. Today, I'm actually going to be talking about several things, but let's go ahead and deal with the very first one that I'll bring up, which happens to be item 5B on your agenda today. Move to approve resolution certify 21 property tax and levies. Talking to you doesn't mean I think anything's going to change, because you've already been told what you're supposed to do by your county manager and assistant manager. It's like a puppet out here, just running you through the method, you know? What you need to understand is I'm not going to even resist having you sign this as it is, because this one here provides the perfect opportunity for me to continue to take action. I previously wrote you about this, but 2 quick little things. One, it'll provide the opportunity to go ahead and bring forth that when you are choosing to make a road levy shift, it's contrary to RCW 8452.043. I guess you can try to get a judge to explain how it doesn't match how you guys consider it to be diagnosed your own way. I think the other one that's more significant, though, is it's such a simple one. When you make this particular resolution, under RCW 3640.090, a provision on this. All taxes shall be levied in specific sums and shall not exceed the amount specified in the preliminary budget. You approved the preliminary budget. The maximum figure was $61,061,000. Your resolution states a figure higher. Thank you. You're going to give me 2 reasons why your resolution will be nullified, and then we can roll your taxes completely back to a previous year level. Now, I'm sure you probably have your attorney online somewhere. You might want to talk to them before proceeding, but I can't tell you that there's any excuse for voting for something that you know is illegal. So I would expect anyone that wants to follow the law is going to vote no. Okay, my next issue, which I'm going to bring up, it kind of has to do with people make promises. People make promises that they're going to be, well, they're going to put the county back in the black. You have a certain elected official that made that claim a while back, and, well, You know, I was taking a look, and with your resolution, the way which you have it designed here, the county has been shifting and diverting funds. During the 4 years of time that Commissioner Menzer has voted affirmative for the purpose, those are the 4 highest years of shifting and stealing money from the roads. There is nobody in the unincorporated area that should ever support somebody who intentionally, continually wants to take money away from their ability to have good roads. So, but I guess I'm going to just kind of 2 more quick things. One is that I was taking notice the census put at the median household income $78,000. And yet this facade of a salary commission that you put together instantly in order to give yourselves a $5,000 annual raise, totally inappropriate and wrong. The last thing I'm going to close with, never enough time, is so far this year, and for what you're scheduled for the remaining portion of the year, you will have missed 14 out of 52 meetings. 27% of your meetings that you're required to have by law, you will have missed. Now, this all goes on to the person in charge of the board, the chair of the board, Mr. Menzer. 14 out of 52, 27%. In terms of dollars, maybe you'd like to refund the county 27% of your pay, $30,000 plus, because you haven't shown up. I expect you as commissioners to show up. You do your duty. You expect us to pay our taxes. We expect you to do your job. Be here so the public has the ability to make comment. This is our only meeting we have the ability, for sure, required by law that you're going to have.
Please wrap it up,
You have
sir.
a chance. Sure, I will conclude my comments. I'd actually like to hear the voice of the commissioner's answer on this, but you're not supposed to. Your puppet master says you don't talk to the public. Thank you.
Mr. Pettit, your time is up. Mr. Ballard, you're up.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name's Terry Ballard. I live in Tanglewilde, and I'm a 35-year veteran and retired here in 2012. To further on the Salary Commission, I have a spreadsheet of everybody that's supposed to be assigned by you guys, okay? So the meeting that they had on 7/19, you only had 3 qualified members. You're required to have 10. And you're required to fulfill that amount within 30 days. You have neglected to do that, and the auditor has neglected to do that. You mean the auditor? Oh, the one that gets paid more than the Secretary of State. That's fun. Okay, next meeting is 8/16. There's 2 people that have been attached to you guys, that you guys authorized to be on this board. Okay, 2. There's supposed to be 10. And your chair all the way across the board, it's funny. She's not even appointed on the board. That's ridiculous. And then now you have 8 out of 10 members on your board. You're supposed to have 10 to quantify your board. You're supposed to have 3 commissioners to quantify what we're doing here today. That's ridiculous. Last night, I gave seven reasons why that board was invalid. I read them off to the board. You know, the board chair, Karen White, she got the okie dokie from somebody else other than legal, that they were legal to run that board last night. That I was, from the posting to everything, was wrong about it. Everything at the board was in haste, and it's wrong. Everything should be null and void, especially when you have people on your council, okay, on your board of commissioners who continually quote law, and they're not lawyers. You have a lawyer assigned by the prosecuting attorney's office, okay, and she's responsible to the prosecuting attorney to make sure everything's legal, okay? It's not her. She could just tell you to bite it, but she's responsible to him, and she's speaking for him whenever she speaks. So if you have something wrong and need to be validated, I'd run over to him and validate that, okay? Quickly, the Veterans Board. Currently, you have over $1 million as of today to spend on the Veterans Board. And I really can't get an eyeball on what's going on as far as all the carryovers. You had a $452,000 carryover to include a $277,000 carryover that you didn't spend with the current dollars that you received. In December, you're supposed to get about, you had about, December 31st, you had about $763,000 carryover into 2021. Well, that turned into $888,000. I don't know where the math came on that. I guess it's new math. And then that turned into $870,000 because you transferred the money into something that you're not supposed to transfer it into. And then you had 942 go into it as far as September. Well, there shouldn't be any carryover money difference there. And then you have 863. It's what's this, School of Accounting or something? I should become an accountant. Of course, you don't have to be qualified on any level to have any job in this county because you got a manager over there that's not qualified by education, prerequisite of education, and he has a managerial position that makes more than you. Thanks.
Is there anyone else in the boardroom that would like to provide public testimony?
No, sir.
Let's check the Zoom. I know there's at least a couple citizens
Yeah,
up there.
I think I have Mr. Carmen. Mr. Carmen, would you like to provide testimony this afternoon?
No, I would not.
Okay, thank you. I have also Ms. Shaina Burmeister.
Yes, thank you.
Please go ahead.
I would like to start just discussing this process, which I find to be very broken. First of all, the time of day eliminates the very large majority of the contributing citizens of our county, because those that work obviously can't take an additional hour of time off to participate and provide public comment. So I think the process really needs to be reviewed. I know that this is something that can be done by the commissioners. Policy states how this process works. So I would like to request that this is reviewed. Comments are done in a silo. You ask for public comment prior to discussing any issues or anything that is on the agenda, and gives absolutely zero ability for any citizen to be able to provide comment back to what it is that is discussed. My second area of concern, November 30th, I attended this meeting. I attended at 2 o'clock. I questioned the opening of this meeting in discussing the land, the waterways, the respect, etc., when everything that I see around Thurston County seems to disrespect the land and the waterways. So I think it's a somewhat ironic way to open this meeting. But November 30th, I came and I referenced the Ensign Road debacle. And I believe it was you, Mr. Chavez, that told me that that ship had sailed and that topic had been covered weeks prior to my attending. Later that day, I found out that there was additional discussion about that. It happened at 3 p.m. So you were deceptive. Instead of saying, hey, hold that thought, come back at 3. You just chose to leave vacant airspace so that I went away. Not acceptable. I would like to bring out my concern in learning that the Carpenter Road situation with the Ensign Road encampment seems to still be alive and well, though all of the public has been told that that issue is dead and that there are additional or different options being researched. I have learned that the plan is to now move the sum of, 80-ish vehicles, that's a combination of RVs and broken down vehicles, over to the area off of Carpenter Road that supposedly was not going to be utilized. I have also learned that the messaging is that, well, we're just moving vehicles, we're not moving individuals. You and I both know that where the vehicles go, the individuals will follow. And that has been a commonality that has occurred in Lacey, Olympia, and Tumwater for the last 7 to 10 years. So I would like some sort of comment about the deceptive practices that Thurston County is taking on so that Olympia can continue to just absolutely destroy any additional area that we have that's not touched by encampments, etc. And that is all I have for today.
I don't see anybody else on Zoom. Commissioner, you allow me to follow up on the last comment?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the comment. Just to reemphasize, the Carpenter Road property that is owned by the county is not available to any RV parking at this point. The Board of County Commissioners made that decision, I believe, prior to November 30th. And I follow up by rescinding the permit application related to that particular phase, and that is done and completed. The City of Olympia, at this point, is going to go ahead and move close to 20 RVs tomorrow on the upper end of Ensign Road tomorrow, and that's going to be the sweep that has been announced in the last couple of weeks. The result of that, as I was informed by the City of Olympia, there are some logistical elements related to that because there are some RVs, they are not able to move by themselves, and they need to utilize towing companies. Those towing companies do not have storage available at this point to store those RVs. What the City of Olympia is planning to do is utilize their property next to the Carpenter Road County property to store those RVs that will not be occupied, and I believe it's in the number of maybe 10 RVs for 30 days, until the towing companies have room on their site so they can process those unused RVs properly. That's what I know at this point. So I want just to clarify the previous comments. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's all the commenters. Thank you. We will move on to item 2, County Manager's Update.
I don't have any specific updates to follow up, Commissioner. Thank you.
Okay. We have 9 items on the consent agenda, items 3A through 3I. Is there a motion regarding these items?
Yes, sir. I move to approve.
Mike.
I would move to approve consent items A through I.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded, non-debatable motion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, motion carries. Items 3A through 3I are approved. That'll bring us to 4A. Auditor item, purchase a ballot sorting machine with Runback Election Services, Inc. Diana Benson, Chief Deputy Auditor, is with us this afternoon. Good afternoon, Diana.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Auditor Hall is not available today, but she appreciates your consideration of the purchase of new elections equipment. The Election Division acquired their ballot sorter in 2008, and they need a new sorter. The auditor has a dedicated reserve fund for elections equipment paid by jurisdictions with elections billing. The purchase is not out of the general fund, and it has previous budget authority by the Board of County Commissioners. State laws allow, once a jurisdiction has followed and documented a competitive purchasing process and entered into a legal contract, other jurisdictions can also purchase goods and services under that contract through a process known as piggybacking. For one jurisdiction to piggyback off another jurisdiction's contract, the governments must enter into an interlocal agreement for cooperative purchasing. Thurston County has entered into an agreement with Pierce County, and Pierce County conducted an open and competitive procurement in 2018. They had 6 proposals submitted with an average price of $322,000. The high price was $655,000. The lowest price was an Agilis ballot sorting machine by their vendor Runbeck. The auditor asks that you approve the purchase of a Runbeck Agilis ballot sorting machine and authorize this purchase in the amount of $230,000 plus tax and shipping and subsequent annual maintenance not to exceed $50,000. Snohomish County has also piggybacked on the Pierce County contract also too. We appreciate your consideration of this request, and do you have any questions?
Commissioner Mejia, any questions?
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards?
No, sir. We went over this morning. I might just make comment on that as I get prior to my motion.
Okay. Ready for a motion if you have one?
I just wanted to make sure that we've included the $50,000 in maintenance to come out of the auditor's fund.
It is out of the Fund 1990, yes.
So we're good to go there. That wasn't this morning. That's all. That's why I'm trying to clarify that. Okay, I'm prepared, sir. You want me to make a motion?
Yes, sir.
I would move to approve the purchase of a Runbeck Agilis ballot sorting machine with Runbeck Election Services Incorporated and authorize the county auditor to execute the purchase.
Commissioner, we provided you with an updated agenda. My apologies.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah.
I see I'm on the old agenda. Well, I'm old. You know, I guess I'll go to the new agenda.
My apologies. The action has a
Okay,
little more
no.
detail.
It's definitely not your fault, sir. Let me restate that motion. I would move to approve the purchase of a Runbeck Agilis ballot sorting machine with Runbeck Election Services Incorporated for $230,000 plus tax and shipping and subsequent annual maintenance for up to $50,000 each year and authorize the county auditor to execute the purchase.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Item 5A is a central services item, contract award for countywide janitorial service. And we believe the assistant county manager is going to handle this item.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. So this afternoon, I am requesting that the board approve an award for janitorial services for the county to CLX Pro. The county invited all janitorial companies on the Washington State Master Contract List to bid on janitorial services in the county. The winning contract is less than the current contract, and it adds the Mottman complex and the work to the duties of the service. This contract continues day porters and additional cleaning services so that the county is operating within the COVID health standards. This is a 2-year term with options for extensions, and we ask that the board authorize this, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Mejia?
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. We went over this morning as well.
Robin, you may have just said this if I missed it, but this morning you made mention that this was covering more buildings and is an overall lower price. Is that?
Yes,
did I get that right?
is correct. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Ready for a motion.
I would move to award a contract for countywide janitorial services to Seal Pro in the amount of $484,195.20 per year for the 2-year term of January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2023, and authorize the assistant county manager to execute the amendment and any future amendments that do not exceed 10%.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion to award this contract?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye, motion carries. Okay. 5B, also Central Services, is a bid award for long-term involuntary bed expansion project.
Thank you, Commissioner. So this contract is for the expansion of the long-term involuntary beds that are currently in what we refer to as the triage building. That's a building that is very near the new jail in the Mottman area. Currently, the county has 10 beds in that facility, and we partner with the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization, the TMBHASO, to operate that facility. The BHASO has received a grant from the Washington State Department of Commerce to expand the number of beds in that facility from 10 to 16. And we are limiting that to 16 because that is the maximum number of beds that a facility may have to continue to qualify for Medicaid payments, Medicare, Medicaid. So there was an RFP issued, and the winning bidder is Bershauer Construction of Olympia in the amount of just over $1.1 million. We seek the board's approval to award the contract and continue with construction to remodel the facility and add these beds.
Questions for Robin from the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, is there a motion?
I would move to award a contract for long-term involuntary bed expansion, project number 25578, to Bershauer Construction Incorporated of Olympia, Washington, in the amount of $1,132,964.99, and authorize the Assistant County Manager to execute the contract and amendments due to unforeseen conditions only that do not exceed 10%.
I'll second.
There is a motion that's been moved and seconded to award this project to Bershauer Construction of Olympia. Is there any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye, motion carries 3-0. Item 5C is an on-call design and engineering services contracts item.
So this item, also from Central Services, is to extend 16 architect and engineering firm contracts so that these contractors are available when required for design and engineer services related to projects on county buildings. The original bids went out in 2018. 16 firms have been selected. Each firm has a rate table, but there is no cost related to these contracts unless we select a firm and at that time design the scope and a work order for the work. And we have rate tables that are attached to each of these contracts. The current contracts expire December 31st of 2021, and we are requesting a one-year extension of all 16 contracts.
Questions from the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, is there a motion?
I would move to authorize the Assistant County Manager to extend the term for on-call design and engineering services contracts associated with building repair and construction projects through December 31st, 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to extend these contracts through December 31st, 2022. Any further discussion on this motion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, motion carries. 5C is approved. Item 6A is resolution for property tax levy increase.
So on this item, we are requesting that the board approve the resolution that authorizes an increase in the property tax by a levy increase of 1% for the general fund, the road fund, and the Conservation Futures Fund. And then the Medic 1 levy is increased as was approved by voters. So the resolution before you doesn't look like 1% because of the math that we're required to do by the Department of Revenue, where the highest lawful levy is divided by last year's actual levy to get to the percentage and the dollar amount that are in the resolution. But it is a 1% increase for the general fund, the road fund, and conservation futures. And the public hearing was held on December 7th regarding property taxes. And I would be happy to answer any questions that you have about this resolution.
No question.
Commissioner Mejia,
No questions.
Commissioner Edwards.
I would move to approve the resolution authorizing an increase in property tax revenue in both dollars and percentage for the current expense road conservation futures and Medic 1 funds, which includes a 1% increase as authorized by RCW 84.55.010.
I'll second.
The motion has been made and seconded to approve this resolution. Is there further discussion on the motion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, motion passes. 6B is a resolution for property tax levy certification. Back to you, Robin.
Thank you, Commissioner. So this item is to certify the levy to the assessor. According to state law, the Board of County Commissioners must certify the levy no later than December 15th. So if you should approve this resolution, we will ask you to sign it and we can get it down to the assessor by tomorrow so that it is timely and in accordance with the law. This certification includes the 1% increase. It also includes the assessment for new construction, the state utilities, any refunds, and it also authorizes a road levy shift in the amount of $2.5 million. That's $250,000 less than in 2021. And a road diversion to the general fund of $1.5 million, which is the same as in this year. Again, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Mejia.
No questions, sir.
No, sir.
Nope. Robin, I guess I have a question. You said that this year's road shift is $250,000 less than last year's. And am I correct in that last year's was $250,000 less than the year before?
That is correct, yes.
Which was the 2020 budget.
Yep.
Which was a biennial budget built before I got on the board in the fall of 2018.
Yes, I do believe that is accurate.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Is there a motion?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I'd move to approve the resolution to certify the 2021 property tax levies for the general fund, roads, Medic 1, and conservation futures to be collected in 2022 and authorize a road levy shift in the amount of $2,500,000 and a road diversion to the current expense fund of $1,500,000.
I'll second.
There's a motion that's been made and seconded to approve the resolution for property tax levy certification. Is there further discussion of the motion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, motion carries. Item 6C is a resolution for Thurston County Council on Racial Equity and Inclusion. Nicole Miller, Racial Equity Program Manager, is present.
Hello, good afternoon, commissioners. I'm here to present you with the draft resolution establishing the Thurston County Council on Racial Equity and Inclusion. Just for context, you had assigned the task of establishing this advisory council on March 9th when you approved Resolution 15995, it's just establishing racism as a crisis in Thurston County. This draft resolution, should you approve it, will also rescind ordinance number 10365, which established the Cultural Diversity and Human Rights Council in 1993. As you can see in the resolution, the purpose of the Thurston County Council on Racial Equity and Inclusion will be to advise and engage the County Commission, Board of Health, elected and appointed officials on matters of racial equity and inclusion within all county services and the policies, processes, and practices used to accomplish the mission of Thurston County government. I don't want to go into all of the purpose statements down below, but I think just highlighting a couple of them is important. The council will be providing input to us on the results of a workplace assessment that we're going to do. This council will be identifying barriers and recommendations to underrepresented Black, Indigenous, and people of color community members that are prevented from full participation in access of county services. They will be serving as a conduit for consultation and providing input into our county racial equity action plan and also further modifications and updates on that plan. Do you have any questions about the purpose of the council before I go on to talk about just a couple of the other sections in the resolution?
Anything from the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, keep going, Nicole.
Okay, so council membership will consist in the initial council development will be 7 community members, and it will grow to a total of 15 community members comprised of residents of Thurston County from marginalized populations, specifically those who identify as BIPOC. The council will grow, like I said, over the next 3 years until it's a total of 15. And that will be a process that is established. There's a, I'm sorry, I just got off track a little bit. Typical to the other boards and commissions, a majority of the general membership will constitute a quorum. The meetings are subject to the Open Public Meetings Act. And the council members will participate in annual implicit bias training and also participate in the Harvard Implicit Bias Association test so that we can all be, or so that the council can be aware of their own biases. Any questions about this section?
No,
Commissioner
sir.
Mejia? Commissioner Edwards?
No, sir.
No, okay. No.
Okay, so moving on, appointment and removal of the council members. There'll be an application process that will be developed so that we can reach out to the BIPOC community members who may be interested in being on this council. Myself, the Racial Equity Program Manager, will establish a community stakeholder group that will review all the applications to present to you all for appointment and approval of the council members. Removal of the council members shall be recommended by the council itself and then made official upon a vote of the Board of County Commissioners. The terms of the council will be 3 years and no more than 2 consecutive terms. Any questions about those 2 sections?
Hearing none. Any questions?
No.
No? Okay, keep going.
And then the last section is just a recommendation for Thurston County Commissioners and department leadership to also participate in implicit bias training and the Harvard Implicit Association Test. It's encouraged that county commissioners and department leadership engage in those trainings with the council in order to build and strengthen our relationships within the BIPOC community.
I'll just note for the public that the board doesn't have a lot of questions because we've addressed this a couple of times. I gave written feedback to the county manager, Nicole, and I'm sure my seatmates took a good look too. So we're familiar, but we appreciate this overview for the public's benefit of what's in there. Commissioner Mejia, anything?
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards?
No, sir.
Okay. Nicole, did you, one question is, when you were putting this together, I think that I'm correct that you drew on you kind of looked at other models and a lot of other, I mean, this wasn't invented out of whole cloth. You took a look at a lot of different other groups and how they've been structured and whatnot, and kind of pulled the best elements of what you saw together. Is that?
Yes,
correct?
Absolutely. And there was also input from other members of the racial equity team as well that helped, who have more experience in this, as this is my first resolution.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there a motion regarding this item?
Yes, I would move to approve the resolution establishing the Thurston County Council on Racial Equity and Inclusion.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve this resolution. Any further discussion from the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. I would just say that this was a key component of what was in our previous resolution that declared systemic racism to be a public health and community crisis. And so I'm proud that we've been able to move this forward, and there are other elements that we'll keep working on, but this is a huge important step from my perspective. So thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
With that, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, community planning and economic development is 7A, contract for hearing examiner and administrative hearing examiner services. Jeremy Davis, operations manager, is here to present.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Chair Menzer, Jeremy Davis again with Community Planning and Economic Development. Today I'm here to request the Board of County Commissioners approve a professional services contract with Sharon Rice Hearing Examiner, PLLC, to be executed by the county manager. The contract again includes hearing examiner services for community planning and economic development and public works, and the administrative hearings officer role for the Public Health and Social Services Department, and may include other items referred by the Board of County Commissioners. It's proposed to go from January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2025, with the possibility of a one-year extension. The contract award was subject to a request for proposal solicitation. Sharon Rice has been recommended by the review panel, which included staff from the Community Planning and Economic Development Department, as well as Public Health and Social Services. The review process included minimum qualification review, scored proposal review, and an interview. The current contract with Sharon Rice Hearing Examiner PLLC, expires on December 31st, 2021. So this contract will provide continuity of services for hearing examiner services for the county. As a matter of fact, we have hearings scheduled on January 11th already in anticipation of this contract being approved. Funding for the contracted services will be secured from development and other fees obtained through the public review process for development applications. Other funding would be identified should the need arise for other hearing examiner services. A contract for hearing examiner pro tem will be submitted separately at a later meeting. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions on this proposed contract.
Commissioner Mejia?
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards?
No question, sir.
Okay, me neither. I'm ready for a motion.
I would move to approve a professional services contract with Sharon Rice, Hearing Examiner, PLLC, for hearing examiner and administrative hearings officer services for January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2025, and authorize the county manager to sign the contract, including one-year extension.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the hearing examiner and administrative hearing examiner service contracts. Further discussion from the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, the motion carries. Okay, item 7B is a contract amendment with Thurston Regional Planning Council regarding Boundary Review Board. Back to Jeremy.
Thank you, Chair Menzer. Today I'm here also to request the board approve a contract amendment with Thurston Regional Planning Council to provide chief clerk services and review board for Thurston County in 2022. Thurston County service contract in January 2018 for Thurston Regional Planning Council to provide these services. And we've amended each year since to update the budget for that next year. The current budgeted amount in the contract of $20,000 is based on the current projected budget for 2022 and an evaluation of the previous year's expenses. Each year, the county and TRPC, or Thurston Regional Planning Council, discuss budget needs for the following year, which are then finalized during the county's budget process. The total amount of this year's contract is unchanged from 2020 and 2021. The specific budget allocations have also not changed from the 2021 contract amendment. The county is required by state law to fund the activities of the Boundary Review Board, which is an independent decision-making body that reviews annexation and merger requests by cities and some special purpose districts. And again, as in previous contract amendments, the actual cost may be higher or lower. TRPC charges the actual cost of BRB services. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions on the proposed contract amendment.
Questions, Commissioner Mejia?
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards?
No, sir.
Okay, me neither. I'm ready for a motion.
Move to approve a contract amendment with Thurston Regional Planning Council to provide chief clerk services for the Washington State Boundary Review Board for Thurston County in 2022 with an amount of $20,000 and authorize the Director of Community Planning and Economic Development to execute the amendment and future contract amendments which do not increase the contract budget.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion from the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
We'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, thank you, Jeremy. The next item is 7C, to set a joint public hearing with the City of Tumwater for island annexation interlocal agreement.
Good afternoon, Chair Menzer, Commissioners, Jeremy Davis again with Community Planning. For this item, I'm here to request the Board of County Commissioners set a joint public hearing with the City of Tumwater City Council for January 18th at 7 p.m. at the City of Tumwater Council Chambers, I should say video conference, as this will be a virtual public hearing. This is, of course, during a regularly scheduled City of Tumwater City Council meeting. The City of Tumwater has 12 unincorporated county islands within its city limits. County staff, city staff, and the Black Layman Fire District staff have been meeting to develop a draft annexation agreement. The agreement outlines the public process, public hearing, and specifics of the agreement, and also incorporates a previous agreement that was approved by the county and city in 2008 as amended in 2014. The 12 annexation areas include 160 parcels over 161 acres. 7 of the unincorporated county islands have 2 or fewer lots. The Little Rock Prosper Island represents 111 parcels and 132 acres. So it is the largest unincorporated county island within the City of Tumwater boundaries. And because of this, they're proposing to do this in a separate action subsequent to a final consideration of the proposed annexation interlocal agreement. A public hearing is required prior to a final decision on the annexation interlocal agreement. The public hearing may be held separately or jointly under RCW 35A 14296. A joint hearing, of course, has been selected as we're here to set that today. The public hearing is tentatively scheduled again for January 18th at 7 p.m. Both the county and city must approve the interlocal agreement or the island annexations cannot proceed. The draft agreement has been reviewed by staff with Public Works and by the Prosecuting Attorney's Office. The McLean Black Lake Fire Department will be impacted, and they were a part of the negotiations and discussions on the agreement, but they did withdraw from the final process and final interlocal agreement. And the city held a open house on December 1st, a virtual open house where city departments were allowed to give presentations to those in attendance, and everyone in the proposed annexation areas was notified of this open house. In addition, a notice of availability has been published and will be published on, or was published, I should say, on December 3rd, 10th, and then published again on the 17th and 24th. And a public notice will be sent to all property owners regarding the public hearing and how to log on and participate. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions from the board on this specific item.
Questions from the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Jeremy, I missed who did you say withdrew from the interlocal agreement?
The Black Lake McLean Fire District, sir. They were initially a part of it and wanted to be a part of it, and then they withdrew participation from that, but they have reviewed it and are very aware of what's going on with the proposed annexations. The state law for this particular type of annexation does allow for impacted special purpose districts to be a part of the interlocal agreement, but does not require them to be a part of it.
Okay. Okay. More to come on that. So this is to set the public hearing. Is there a motion?
Yes, sir. I'd move to set a joint public hearing with the City of Tumwater City Council on January 18th, 2022 at 7 p.m. at the City of Tumwater Council chambers and/or video conference to accept public testimony regarding an interlocal agreement for the annexation of unincorporated territory between the City of Tumwater and Thurston County.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to set a joint public hearing with City of Tumwater. Any further discussion on the motion?
So just one question or additional clarification. This is a hybrid hearing, correct? Or is it just?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Commissioner, the hearing is going to be fully virtual, actually. Currently, the Tumwater City Council meets only virtually.
So would the action needs to be revised, Jeremy?
Yes, sir. It should be revised to exclude the in-person component to the motion. Apologies.
We're catching that.
Okay, so do I need to do an amendment on that then?
Yes, it's already been seconded.
Okay. Would you like to move?
We need an amendment, you say?
Yes, sir, because it has already been introduced.
So we need to remove the City of Tumwater Council chambers and/or.
Let's see, we need to change that to just make it
Just
video
a
conference.
video conference, yeah, only, yeah.
And I guess a conference site, website.
Yeah, we'll provide that, so just.
Something will be provided, what do you?
Yeah, well, with video conference, I don't think the motion needs to add the specifics, the logistics. It just sets the stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. Okay. Sir, I'm going to restate that.
Okay, you're going to make an amendment.
So is an amendment introduced? Is there a second
okay.
for that amendment?
Do you want to make that amendment, or did you want me to?
I don't.
Okay, I'll make the amendment to strike from 7C the verbiage that says at the City of Tumwater Council chambers.
And/or.
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 Yep.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a proposed amendment to strike the language at the City of Tumwater Council chambers and/or. It's been seconded. Any further discussion on the amendment?
No, sir.
I'll call for the vote on the amendment.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Minzer?
Aye, motion carries. So the underlying motion has been amended. And any further discussion on the amended motion before we vote?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, I'll call for that vote.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Minzer?
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, 7D, another CPED item, setting a public hearing on Development Code Docket Item CR5. And Maya Teeple, Senior Planner from Community Planning and Economic Development, is present.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Maya Teeple, Senior Planner with Community Planning. This item on your agenda today is to request that the Board of County Commissioners schedule a public hearing to accept public testimony on Development Code Docket Item CR-5, which is the Places of Worship Code Amendment. I'm requesting that the hearing be set for January 18, 2022 at 3 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard. The proposed code amendment would impact Chapter 23.04 of the Thurston County Code, the Residential Districts chapter of the Olympia Urban Growth Area Zoning Code section, specifically to expand zones where dormitories are permitted with a place of worship, and to include regulatory standards limiting the size of dormitories by requiring they be accessory to the principal use on site. Previous review of this proposal has included Planning Commission and Board review. The Planning Commission previously reviewed this item on August 4th and September 15th, 2021 at their work sessions, and on September 15th scheduled a public hearing to accept public testimony on 3 separate options. Following that public hearing on November 3rd, the Planning Commission produced a unanimous recommendation of approval of one of the 3 options, with a small modification to the code language to clarify how size and scale of dormitories be regulated in conjunction with a place of worship. The Board of County Commissioners reviewed all 3 options as well as the Planning Commission's recommendation on December 1st, and following that briefing, directed staff to bring forward an AIS to set a public hearing on the Planning Commission recommendation only. A SEPA determination of non-significance was issued on this item on November 8th, 2021. Prior to the public hearing, Community Planning will issue noticing in the Olympian and make sure the website has the updated materials available to the public. And this proposed amendment supports Thurston County Strategic Initiatives number 6, proactively shape a strong, diverse economy that provides equitable access to opportunity, and also number 7, balanced development with the preservation of the county's rural character, natural areas, and open spaces. That concludes my remarks, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions from Maya, Commissioner Mejia?
No questions, sir.
No questions.
No? Okay, is there a motion?
Yes, I move to set a public hearing for January 18th, 2022 at 3 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard on Development Code Docket Item CR-5, the Places of Worship Code Amendment.
I'll second.
Okay, motion to set a public hearing on docket item CR5 has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Maya. Next item is information technology item 8A, contract with interpersonal frequency for web content management. Dennis Osorio, our Director of Information Technology.
Good afternoon, Dennis Osorio, IT Director. So just give some background on this project. On August 6th, 2019, the Board of County Commissioners approved the IT department to advertise a request for proposal for a new web content management system for the county. The RFP was released on August 8th, 2019. 6 proposals were received and it ended on September 6th, 2019. IT partnered with stakeholders throughout the county to form an evaluation team to consider submitted proposals. 3 of the vendors were invited to provide on-site demonstrations. After evaluating the demonstrations, the evaluation team scored interpersonal frequency as the content management system that best met all of the identified requirements. I'm here today currently seeking board approval to enter into a contract with interpersonal frequency for a total cost of implementation of $533,212, which includes a 10% contingency, with an ongoing annual hosting and licensing cost of $119,246. The acquisition cost for the system will be paid out of the Large System Replacement Fund and the American Rescue Plan funding. And now I'm here to answer any other questions.
Commissioner Mejia.
No, sir.
Okay, Commissioner Edwards.
No questions.
Okay, ready for a motion.
I would move to approve a contract with Interpersonal Frequency for web content management for $533,212, including 10% contingency for 1 year, and authorize the Director of Information Technology to execute the contract.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve a contract with Interpersonal Frequency. And is there any further discussion on the motion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Okay, we're up to public health, and we have one item for public health and social services, 9A, Choice Youth Marijuana Prevention Education Contract, N21896-19, Amendment Number 6. Chris Hawkins from Public Health and Social Services here to present this item.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Chris Hawkins, Program Manager, Public Health and Social Services on Education and Prevention. And I'm here to seek your approval on a renewal of a contract that we've had the last several years to work on youth marijuana prevention education here across Thurston County. This funding is provided by a state funding source, Department of Health, through the Regional Accountable Community of Health, the Cascade Pacific, or actually Choice Regional Health Network in this case. The contract provides $25,000 for the current program year, starting July 1, 2021 and going through June 30th, 2022, to continue our work educating in the community to key stakeholders in marijuana access and prevention, particularly with regard to young people, complements our efforts on tobacco and vaping prevention, as well as our efforts with a couple of community coalitions on youth substance use here in Thurston County. And we are eager to continue that work. We know that this is a significant issue and challenge, not only in those key communities where we're focused on those coalition efforts, but really across the county. And so with your approval, we will be able to carry out this work into 2022 and hopefully beyond. And this project does address the board's strategic plan, or Thurston County strategic plan on improving health outcomes for our community, particularly with regard to investing in programs that help school-aged youth in our community. So that's our request today.
Questions for Chris?
Yes, I do have a question.
Go ahead, Commissioner Edwards.
Chris, the capitalized word choice, is that an acronym that needs explanation?
I don't believe that does have a spelled out acronym. I'm not sure why the organization name is capitalized, Choice Regional Health Network. So I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. I could look into that and get back to you.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I got the motion right. I've goofed up a couple of them now, so.
Not your fault, Commissioner.
Thank you for asking. That is unusual.
Okay, good enough. I'm ready, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I would move to approve the choice, I'm going to spell that out, Charles Henry Ocean Ida Charles Edward, Regional Health Network Amendment Number 6 to contract number N21896-19, effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, for a revised total maximum program year consideration of $25,000 for the Youth Marijuana Prevention Education Program to deliver services that prevent use of marijuana by young underage residents countywide, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign the contract, as well as future amendments that do not change the approved dollar amount by more than 10%.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded to approve this prevention education contract amendment. Any further discussion on this motion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Chris. We got Public Works up next with a number of items. 10A is a project prospectus and local agency agreement for the Johnson Point Road and Hawks Prairie Road intersection improvement project. Ryan Blazer, civil engineer from Public Works Department, to present.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Ryan Blazer. I'm a civil engineer with Public Works. Public Works has been awarded just under $3 million in federal funding from the Federal Highway Administration through the Surface Transportation Block Grant for the acquisition of right-of-way and construction of the Johnson Point Road and Hawks Prairie Road intersection improvement project. The intersection is currently unsignalized with a stop sign controlled approach on Hawks Prairie Road. The roadways have limited shoulder widths, limited sight distance, and inadequate street lighting. This project will construct a roundabout at the intersection of Johnson Point Road and Hawks Prairie Road and will include wider shoulders, streetlights, storm drainage, and other associated work. This project will improve efficiency and increase safety at the intersection for vehicle traffic by slowing vehicles down, decreasing impact points, and adding lighting. Grant funding will be matched with a 13.5% investment from the County Road Fund for the project. This project is in the proposed 2022 to 2023 Public Works budget, the proposed 2022 to 2027 Transportation Improvement Program, and Capital Facilities Plan, and is in alignment with this county's Strategic Plan Initiative 2 to improve community health, wellness, and safety, and Initiative 8 to support robust and well-maintained infrastructure systems for a thriving community. Public Works is requesting the Board of County Commissioners to authorize the Director of Public Works to sign the project prospectus and local agency agreement with the Washington State Department of Transportation and all subsequent amendments and supplements for this project. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions for Ryan? Commissioner Mejia?
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards?
I do have one question. What's the dollar amount that we're getting through the federal program?
The exact dollar amount
Or just
is
roughly?
So it's just under $3 million.
Okay. And we needed to contribute 13.5% from our county road fund as a match for that program, for that contract?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
All right, sounds like a good deal. Okay, ready for a motion?
I would move to authorize the Director of Public Works to sign the project prospectus and local agency agreement with the Washington State Department of Transportation and all subsequent amendments and supplements for the Johnson Point Road and Hawks Prairie Road intersection improvement project, CP 61364.
I'll second.
Okay, this motion's been made and seconded to approve this project prospectus. Is there further discussion from the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, next is 10B, resolution to apply for a grant from the Brian Abbott Fish Barrier Removal Board to support the Country Club Road Northwest at Green Cove Creek culvert replacement. Elena Fernandez, environmental coordinator, is here to give us some background.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Among the sites under consideration for culvert replacement under the Fish Passage Enhancement Program is a site eligible for partial funding through grants. Public Works is requesting permission to apply for a $300,000 grant to supplement the existing funding to design the fish barrier removal project at the Green Cove Creek and Country Club Road. This culvert has been assessed and identified for replacement under the Fish Passage Enhancement Program. An emergency repair was completed in November 2021 to protect public safety and preserve the roadway until a permanent fix can be completed. The grant is from the Brian Abbott Fish Burial Removal Board and administered through the Washington State Recreation and Conservation Office. The RCO requires this resolution of all applicants. The grant would be used to supplement REAP funds allocated for the Fish Passage Enhancement Program to design this project. In addition, this project will develop an alternatives analysis, complete the necessary design studies, and identify the preferred alternative to address this fish passage barrier. Once a preferred alternative is identified, permitting and final design will begin, with construction anticipated in 2024. This project will open about 3 miles of high-quality spawning and rearing habitat for anadromous fish species in Green Cove Creek. With grant opportunities such as this one, Thurston County's Fish Passage Enhancement Program has successfully leveraged county REIT funds to receive grant money totaling about $2.5 million since 2017. This project is in the proposed 2022 to 2023 Public Works budget, the proposed 2022 to 2027 Transportation Improvement Program and Capital Facilities Plan, and is in alignment with the County Strategic Plan Initiative 8 to support robust and well-maintained infrastructure systems for a thriving community, and Initiative 9 to support the environmental health and climate stabilization. And I can take any questions about this proposal.
Commissioner Mejia,
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards.
No questions. I'd just let the public know we've had a lot of discussion on this. And I think we've had some public correspondence on this issue as well.
That's true. And Elena, you touched on it, but I want to just make it a little more clear, because the public has been interested in this, that this application for this grant doesn't necessarily bind us to any one course of action. We're evaluating. You talked about alternatives analysis, and so we can acquire this money and then use it to formulate the proper strategy and make that decision at a later point. Is that accurate?
That is correct. We are currently undergoing some of the alternatives analysis, and we have not picked a preferred alternative at this time.
Okay, and with that, is there a motion?
Yes, I would move to approve the resolution to apply for a $300,000 grant to supplement existing funding for Country Club Road Northwest at the Green Cove Creek Culvert Replacement from the Brian Abbott Fish Barrier Removal Board, administered through the Washington State Recreation and Conservation Office.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass this resolution to apply for this grant. Is there any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, that gets us to 10C, which is a similar item to regarding a resolution to apply for a grant from the Brian Abbott Fish Barrier Removal Board for Thompson Creek Road at Thompson Creek Fish Passage. Back to you, Elena.
All righty. Thank you, Commissioner Menzer. So Public Works is requesting permission to apply for a $500,000 grant to supplement the existing funding for the Thompson Creek crossing on Thompson Creek Road Southeast. This culvert has been assessed and identified for replacement under the Fish Passage Enhancement Program. The grant is also from the Brian Abbott Fish Barrier Removal Board and is administered through the Washington State RCO. The RCO requires this resolution of all applicants. The grant would be used to supplement REIT funding allocated for the Fish Passage Enhancement Program to support the construction of this project. Once completed, removal of this barrier will allow fish access to more than 10 miles of spawning and rearing habitat. Thompson Creek is a major tributary to the Skookumchuck River and provides an immense area for spawning and rearing anadromous fish, such as coho salmon. With grant opportunities such as this one, Thurston County has successfully leveraged county REIT funds with awarded grant monies totaling about $2.5 million. This project is in the proposed 2022 to 2023 Public Works budget, the proposed 2022 to 2027 Transportation Improvement Program, and the Capital Facilities Plan. It is also in alignment with the County Strategic Plan Initiative 8 to support the robust and well-maintained infrastructure systems for a thriving community, and Initiative 9 to support environmental health and climate stabilization. And I'll take any questions.
Any questions from the board on this one?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Ready for a motion?
I would move to approve the resolution to apply for a $500,000 grant to supplement existing funding for fish barrier removal on Thompson Creek Road at Thompson Creek Fish Passage from the Brian Abbott Fish Barrier Removal Board, administered through the Washington State Recreation and Conservation Office.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve this resolution. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Mensah,
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 10D is a request for qualifications for wastewater facility planning in Grand Mound. Joe Plahuta, Senior Water Resource Engineer, present to give a little bit of a overview of this one. Good afternoon, Joe.
Thanks, Commissioner Menzer. Commissioners, so Public Works is requesting Board of County Commissioner approval to issue a request for qualifications for preparing a general sewer and wastewater facility plan update with an option to retain the selected consultant for the design of wastewater treatment plant upgrades. Public Works owns and operates a water and sewer system serving commercial and residential development in the Grand Mound area. As Ramiro mentioned this morning, the Grand Mound area is rapidly developing and its wastewater treatment plant is approaching 85% of its permitted discharge limit for biological oxygen demand and for total suspended solids. This triggers the Department of Ecology's requirement to prepare a plan for maintaining adequate capacity. In order to satisfy this requirement for maintaining for a plan for maintaining adequate capacity, Public Works would like to prepare a new wastewater facility plan that develops design parameters for a treatment plant upgrade to accommodate future wastewater flows and loadings. This effort would also include parallel development of a general sewer plan to analyze collection system development and identify capital projects in the sewer collection system. In addition, Public Works holds water rights conditioned upon developing Class A reclaimed water capacity at the Grand Mound treatment plant with the intent of using this reclaimed water for aquifer recharge. Public Works would like to prepare a reclaimed water evaluation as part of this general sewer and wastewater facility planning effort. The RFQ would include an option to retain the selected consultant for design services relating to upgrade of the wastewater treatment facility, potentially including design of a reclaimed water plant at the Grand Mound treatment facility. Public Works does not have the necessary resources in-house to complete either the planning or design services for a wastewater facility expansion. The RFQ process allows us the ability to go out and competitively solicit contractors' proposals to get a contract in place that meets the county's needs and delivers the greatest value to the public. Upon receipt, review, and scoring of submitted statements of qualifications, Public Works would enter into contract negotiations with the highest rated consulting firm, and subsequently the negotiated contract would be presented to the Board of County Commissioners for award approval. All contract expenditures associated with this planning effort would be funded through sewer utility rates. This action is in alignment with the county's Strategic Plan Initiative 8 to support robust and well-maintained infrastructure systems for a thriving community. Again, Public Works is requesting Board of County Commissioners approval to issue a request for qualifications for preparing a general sewer and wastewater facility plan update with the option to retain the selected consultant for design of wastewater facility plant upgrades. And with that, I can take any questions.
Questions, Commissioner Mejia?
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards?
No, sir.
Okay, ready to go.
I would move to authorize Public Works to issue a request for qualifications for preparing a general sewer and wastewater facility plan update with an option to retain the selected consultant for the design of wastewater treatment plant upgrades.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to issue a request for qualifications. And is there any further discussion on the motion from the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Mensah,
Aye, motion carries. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Commissioners.
10E, request for proposal, Lake Lawrence LMD submerged vegetation contract, Paula Cracknell, Aquatic Resource Specialist, is here. Hello,
Good
Paula.
afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for your time. Paula Cracknell, Aquatic Resource Specialist with Thurston County Public Works. I'm here today to present to you a request for proposals for two separate actions for Long Lake Management District and Lake Lawrence Management District, and to seek your approval to release these to the public to start to look for qualified contractors. These are two separate actions, but I'm going to present them together due to the similarity of the contracts and the RFPs. So Public Works Noxious Weeds and Lakes Management Program manages the Lake Lawrence and Long Lake Management Districts. The LMDs work to solve water quality issues and improve the lakes for public health, aesthetic, and recreational opportunities for all ratepayers who reside within the LMD boundaries and for citizens who enjoy the lakes year-round from public access areas. Long and Lawrence Lakes are eutrophic. Eutrophic lakes are generally shallow and experience greater aquatic weed growth during the summer season, which can reach levels that impair water quality. Excess vegetation increases water temperature and reduces flow throughout the system, causing distress to aquatic organisms. Frequently, the excess aquatic vegetation growth during the summer months prevents recreational opportunities and can pose a risk to swimmers using the lake. Water quality impairments associated with excess vegetation can also increase the frequency and intensity of algal blooms, which can lead to closure of lakes. The target species for both lakes is curly-leaf pondweed, a state-listed Class C noxious weed, and other native plant species that can reach injury levels due to excess biomass. Aquatic vegetation management in Long and Lawrence lakes is part of best management practices for lakes management to promote a sound ecosystem. Long and Lawrence Lake LMDs have actively managed aquatic vegetation with the county since the inception of the LMDs, and all applications follow the county's integrated pest management policies and Washington State Department of Ecology's aquatic plant and algae management permit requirements. The Noxious Weed and Lakes Management Program is requesting the BoCC to approve the issuance for a request for proposal for submerged aquatic vegetation control services as outlined. The county anticipates that the contract will be for a maximum duration of approximately 4 years, with an initial 10-month term beginning March 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022, and 3-year renewal options following. An evaluation process has been established for review of proposals received, and the ranked proposals and financial impacts of any proposed contract will be presented to the BoCC for consideration and approval under separate actions. All Long and Lawrence Lake Management District contract expenditures will be funded through revenue generated by rates and charges. This action is in alignment with the county's Strategic Plan Initiative 9 to support environmental health and climate stabilization. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Paula on either 10E or F? Commissioner Mejia.
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards.
No, sir. We've had plenty of discussion on this. Thank you.
Yep, I would just, folks want more background. There's discussions this morning and last week as well from the board about kind of future directions, but I don't have any specific questions on this. So is there a motion on 10E?
Yes, I would move to authorize Public Works to issue a request for proposal for services associated with submerged vegetation control in Lake Lawrence, a county-supported lake management district.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to request an RFP for a submerged vegetation contract. Is there any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Let's go right to 10F. Is there a motion there?
Yes, sir. I would move to authorize Public Works to issue a request for proposal for services associated with submerged vegetation control in Long Lake, a county-supported lake management district.
Second.
Moved and seconded to authorize a RFP for Long Lake vegetation contract. Is there further discussion on this motion?
No, sir.
I'll call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Amy, you're not mic'd, but I could figure out when I'm supposed to vote. So that passes 3-0. Both of those 10A, 10F. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you.
Item 11 is county manager item. 11A, 2021 Budget Amendment Number 2.
Is it now? Now it's
Yep.
on. Okay.
You're good now.
Thank you. Robin Campbell, once again, Assistant County Manager. In this action, I am requesting that the board approve Budget Amendment Number 2 for 2021. This is the final amendment of the year. In the interest of time, I will simply say the board reviewed in detail this amendment on November 24th. Legal notice was published on December 3rd and December 10 in accordance with state law. The budget is mainly technical in nature. There are a few corrections, there are grants. The most significant is $7 million that's coming into public health and social services for rental assistance programs. And in the general fund, approximately $2.5 million in lost revenue from COVID. Those are the big items in this amendment. Other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions about the amendment and just request your approval.
Commissioner Mejia?
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. I might just comment for the public that we've had ongoing budget discussions since way back when, and this has taken up a lot of time. And I'm sure nobody wants to hear everything that we heard about it. But if you do, there are lots of YouTube study sessions that they can watch.
All recorded, all online and available.
There you go.
Okay. Ready for motion?
I would move to approve the resolution to adopt Budget Amendment 2, including attachment A, B, and C.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion to approve the budget amendment?
I can't believe that's such a short motion for all the work that went into it, but that's it for me, sir.
Okay, we'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye. Motion carries. All right, well, we just plowed through 20 items of business on plus consent calendar, and it's 3:37. We have Board of Health coming right up. Now is the time where the commissioners can give a report on any work sessions or community events or anything really that they'd like to. Commissioner Mejia, sorry.
Yes, so I think the two most notable things to report, it's for the ORCA, which is the Regional Air Agency, and Pac Mountain. We have appointed new executive directors for those two organizations. So they will be starting, I believe for ORCA, they'll be starting in February, and then for Pac Mountain, they'll be starting here pretty soon. So exciting times. We've been doing interviews and meeting just with different stakeholders on those issues. Other than that, yesterday I did the Regional Housing Finance Committee. Last week I attended the Regional Housing Council and the Transportation Policy Board. I don't have much to note on those two committees, but thank you.
Commissioner Edwards?
I think in the sake of saving some time here, all three of us attended last night an emergency management presentation that was our fall conference, attended by 60 plus other elected officials and managers around the county. That went on for a couple hours. More to come on that. And then the rest of the week was all budget and COVID-19 issues. So I'll just let it go at that, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'll just make note of one item that was unusual for me. Last Thursday, I had the opportunity to participate in Leadership Thurston County's Government Day. County manager was there as well for a piece that was after my piece, but it was just really interesting to meet people from all over the community. And as I've been on the county commission, everywhere I go, I meet people who are in positions of leadership who have graduated from that program. So it's clearly a powerful program. And what was impressive was just the range of people. There was an Olympia police officer. There was somebody from Providence. There was somebody from nonprofit. I mean, just at my little table, just people from all over the community who go through this program and then end up, ascending into leadership positions. It really seems to be a powerful program. And we had a great panel of all the mayors of the cities and then the city administrators and county administrator to give background on how government works and answer questions. So that was a lot of fun. And it was in person at SPSCC Lacey. So anyway, I'll stop there because I know we've got Board of Health. So let's go to the county manager's review of our schedule.
Thank you, Commissioners. Let me walk you through briefly your combined schedule, what at least the Commissioners will be attending those meetings. You may have individual appointments on your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. As soon as you're completed this meeting, you have your regular Board of Health meeting, which is going to be via a different Zoom meeting. And we'll open that as soon as you're done with this Board of County Commissioners meeting. Tomorrow, Wednesday, December 15, 9 in the morning, you have an appeal on a hearing decision, hearing examiner's decision related to a Mason land use related matter. At 10 in the morning, you have been invited to participate on the local elected roundtable discussion with Representative Strickland. At noon, you have your regular elected officials meeting. At 1 in the afternoon, you have an executive session related to the Mason land use appeal. And in the afternoon, Commissioner Menser, Commissioner Edwards, they have been invited to participate on the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Association end of year staff appreciation gathering. Thursday, December 16th, 1 in the afternoon, you have the regular meeting with Commissioner Menser, Commissioner Edwards on the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization. And that will be located on the 612 Woodland Square Loop Southeast, Suite 401, Lacey, Washington. And at 2:30 in the afternoon, you have a social gathering here in this room at 2:30 in the afternoon, where you be celebrating a holiday gathering with the Board of County Commissioners staff. Friday, December 17th, you have been invited 8 in the morning to participate on the South Thurston Economic Development Initiative, also known as STEADY, and that will be a virtual assembly. At 9 in the morning, you will convene back to this room, room 280, where you'll be considering the adoption of the 2022-2023 budget, biennial budget. And at 3 in the afternoon, the Board of Office of County Commissioners will be delivering gifts to the adopted family in the Rochester area. And also on Sunday, December 19th at 5 in the afternoon, you have been invited to participate on the Deputy Sheriff's Association holiday dinner that will be located on the Indian Summer Golf and Country Club, 5990 Troon Lane, Southeast Olympia, Washington. And also that will be the last official meeting of the year. The next meeting the board will come back will be January 4th, 2022. And you will meet here in the morning during the agenda setting where you will be reviewing the agenda for the afternoon, which will include only one item. That will be the assignments, boards, and commissions for the 2022 calendar year. And also you will be reviewing the agenda for the following week, which is January 11, 2022. Thank you and happy holidays.
Ramiro, did you happen to mention that on Wednesday at 5 p.m. there's a retirement event for Mayor Komet in Tumwater?
That is not in the master calendar, but certainly that is an event we can add it to the master calendar for the commissioners to attend. That is, I believe, a going away celebration at the South Sound Community College for Mayor Komet, the mayor of Tumwater. And that is, I think it's 5:30 in the afternoon, if I recall well, but we'll add it to the calendar. And thank you for that reminder.
I'm not planning on attending that, just.
Okay.
It's a maybe.
Yep. So we'll add it to the master calendar just to give that option to the commissioners. But thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, Mayor Komet is wrapping up 30 years of public service, 12 as mayor and 18 as a council member in Tumwater. And so it'll be a nice chance to send him off to retirement.
I have intra-city transit that night, so.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Well, I'm speaking, so I'll give the regards to the mayor from the board. Okay, well, with that, we will adjourn this meeting. It is 3:45. Should we take 10 minutes before we convene?
Yeah, that will be good.
Okay, so around 3:55, we'll pick up with Board of Health. We're adjourned.
Thank you, sir.